Nottingham Forest 2, Manchester United 2. Not a lot to talk about, but you know what? Roll that VT and let's get to it.
The guy that turns up on your party, dropping the hit, got me Haraami. Coming to see like a tsunami. I know you calling me.
Absel, where are you, man?
I'm here.
Bro, you're gonna have to
Bit
help me on
rusty,
this one.
after the week off.
Yeah, exactly, man. Life is life, and we all get busy things. But you know what? It had been a good week, man. I think. We
Been
had
a good couple of weeks.
Yeah. We had obviously the Sunderland, then we had obviously the international break, then we had Liverpool, then we had Brighton last Saturday,
and Liverpool continued to fall apart.
Which is always a great
sight.
Yeah, it's been very good, So as we talk today, they're 9th, we're 5th. They've only played the 9 games. We played the 10 now.
We were second though. We were for a brief moment. We were second.
You know what? I put out a tweet last week. Is like, you know what? Can it be? No. Look, I don't think I was getting giddy, and again, I don't want to mistake it. Glazers out, Ineos out. Not much is going to change until they leave. But it's just been so good, man, to actually win games. Do you know what I mean?
It's been a refreshing change of pace.
Yeah, and I think that's what anybody wants, man.
And the thing is, we weren't. I remember, so this run started against Liverpool, right?
Sunderland.
Did we beat Sunderland?
We beat Sunderland.
Oh yeah, because we lost to Brentford.
Yeah. Then we had the international break, hence why it's a bit longer.
I got it mixed up. I was like, oh no, we beat Brentford, then we lost to Sunderland. But yeah, obviously we beat Sunderland, and then I remember the Liverpool game. I was the only one saying we can do this.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
I don't know why. I had this weird, obviously knowing what the form they were in, and then we came up against Brighton, and I was like, you know what, we've got this.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I know Brighton had a phenomenal record at Old Trafford. They've still got a very good record against us. But yeah, it was just for once, you went into games feeling confident. Even today, I was like, yeah, we're going to do this. And we very nearly didn't, You
know what? I mean, again, I was one of those ones who was getting not excited, but I was so happy that we've been winning. I was like, you know what? Can we do that Leicester season? We're not Manchester United of old, where we'll be expected to win it or we look good to win it. But can we just do something? Look, that's a fantasy. Yes, today is only a draw, so it's not a loss. But you know what? I think the way the game played out, like it has been in the other games as well, where we beat Liverpool. Look, some people say we weren't great against Liverpool. Same against Brighton last week, where it was 3-2. It could have been 3-3 at any point, but then we end up winning 4-2. People are still saying, we've not been playing great, and I get that. And even today was the same. We weren't playing bad, but we weren't.
I think for me, we started off decent. I think once they got their goal, that was it. It kind of, and by that I mean the second goal. Once they got that, they were really almost as if they knew, right, okay, we've got something here now, lads.
Yeah.
Let's push on. Let's either try and get a third or... Because look, for Forest, this is a massive point.
Yeah.
Vice versa, for us, it's a massive point. And I only say that on the basis of where have we been in the past few years when we concede.
Yeah, but...
Do you know what I mean? This is a massive improvement from the last few years when we concede, heads drop, 2 or 3 go in, and everyone's effing and jeffing.
Yeah, no. From that perspective, I get it, but I just wanted more momentum, man. Because look, we got Spurs next. Next Saturday.
Yeah, that's the danger one.
Spurs. Then just looking through it, then we've got Everton at home. Everton haven't been too shabby. Then after that one, match 13, it's saying we've got Crystal Palace away, and that's definitely going to be difficult. So I think we had the chance of getting those 2 extra points, which would have got us a 19. We would have been second. Obviously Bournemouth are second at the present moment in time. They've still got to play. Tottenham has still got to play Chelsea, I think it is now, is it? Later on today.
Tottenham, Chelsea. Yeah, 5:30. Starting in 10 minutes.
5:30. Yeah. So so I thought let's get some momentum. So from your perspective, you're right. Back in the day, the day we probably would have gone on to lose it, but I think the momentum we had been carrying. Okay, it's a draw. Let's see what the next few games bring up. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to get too disheartened, but the problem we have is we ain't got a game for another week now.
Yeah, well, I mean, one game a week in it. Look,
one game
I
a
said
week,
it.
and next Saturday is a 12:30 kickoff, where we're
Yeah.
notoriously not that great.
And if you look at the way the Premier League has moved a lot of fixtures around, they've conveniently moved a lot of ours around. And I mean, it came out in the week that apparently there's only one game on Boxing Day this year.
Yep.
And surprise, surprise, look who's playing it.
Obviously, if you want the figures, it's got to be Manchester United. You know what I mean? So, does it make sense?
I mean, look, that's no excuse. The professional footballers, they should be ready to go at all times, right?
Yeah.
But I don't even know. Look, I've said all I need to say about Amorim a million times over. One thing I don't get is why the first substitutes, the first one always, sometimes the second one are always defensive changes.
I think like, overall
the first back five never gets a full 90 ever.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think the first change should always dictate the way you're going, and his first change is probably it is a negative one. It
was Dorgu on, if I'm right.
Dorgu for Dallo.
Which
and again that was on the 68th minute. Then he brought Mazarawi on for Lenny Yoro. Now you're losing 2-1. Yes, we scored on the 81st minute, so you're gonna say obviously the substitutions were good, but I'm just looking here. You got Colby on the bench.
I was just going to go through the bench. Yeah,
you got
on the bench.
Mason Mount on the bench. You got Joshua Zirkzee.
You got Harry Maguire.
Yeah, the centre forward. Harry Maguire. It's just like
there's
and with all due
respect, options.
And like I said, with all due respect, yes, it was. We weren't the worst today, but obviously there was a reason why we were losing, and it wasn't like we was hammering their goal down or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Let's do something on what they had 41 possession, we had 59. They had 3 shots, we had 7 on target. That is, overall they had 8 off target, we had 6 off target. Do you know what I mean? And like I said, it wasn't mad. It was they had 8 corners, we had 5.
It seemed like the kind of game that's like, when you play a game, it's like, this is our level now. Like, we weren't bad, they weren't bad. It was just kind of a meh, just, like one of them. Like, it wasn't anything spectacular, but it wasn't anything particularly disappointing.
Yeah, like I said, performance-wise, again, we're what? Forest, let me just double check. They're 17th, 18th, sorry. The
new manager as well.
New manager, yeah, okay, it's his 3rd game. I don't know, man. I expected more. Like I said, I'm not gonna crash it on them because they've done well. Let's see. Like I said, the next 3 games are going to be tough. I could just said to Spurs, Palace, and Everton. They're going to be very, very tough games, man. But
there's no break in November, is there?
Yes, there is the final one until March.
God's sake!
Yeah,
sick of international breaks, man. When is it?
I know. I think they're proposing people are proposing where around October, November, you just book out the month where they just play the internationals, which I think I'm in favour for.
So get it out of the way and then
You know what I mean? Let's as football fans go on holiday for a month. Do you know what I mean? Because it is, notoriously Man United fans are massive England. Well, England anyway, should I say? We're not massive England followers. We've had a bit of turbulence with England in the past. But yeah, let's get that out of the way. But as I said, look, there's not much more to talk about, especially the game. There's nothing that stands out other than the first goal. Should it have been a goal? It wasn't a corner. It didn't go out.
I don't know.
It didn't go out, man. Don't forget the whole ball has to go out.
Yeah, I think regardless of whether it's a corner or not, we capitalized on the situation, and that is something we never normally do. We never seem to take advantage of these little things. And look, ref decisions are ref decisions. Some go for you, some don't. And historically, again, we have a habit of not jumping on these and making the most of them.
Mm-hmm.
At least today we did.
Yeah. Look. Like I said, we have a lot of go against us, so we can take this one. Like, you know what I mean? Just I just don't want fans to say nothing goes for us because this one definitely did, and there have been others in the past there. But the Amad Diallo goal, that was nice.
I mean, by that point, my stream had completely messed up, so I've just watched a highlight of the goal on Twitter.
Yeah. No, well, there's knocking around the box a little bit, and then it come out to and he's put it away.
Ahmad saves us again, comes up clutch again.
And there's that many people who would who are against him, writing him off again.
It's like the people that like, oh, Kobe isn't good enough, or he's too young. He wasn't too young when he dominated an FA Cup final. Exactly, he wasn't too young when he came on and scored a banger to bail us out of shit. Like, do you know what I mean? And the thing is, right, it annoys me because we've got so much talent, so much raw potential there, and it's just going to waste.
Yeah, look, it annoys me because, again, if people understand the history of Manchester United, it's about the youth, success, courage. Those are slogans, but they actually mean something. And that's what this club stands for. And when you've got players like Kobe sitting on the bench, and like you said, who've run FA Cup finals against really champions at that time, Man City, there's something there. It's up to the coach and the rest of their team to bring it out of them. Like Casemiro's had that many chances, been that poor. But they kept playing him, and now look, justified. Who's coming up with the goals and things of that nature. So it shows that you have to keep persevering and not write them off. And especially young lads. That's the whole point of it.
It's a bizarre situation. I mean, look, we see every day on Twitter Kobe's linked with a new team, whether it's a credible link or not. It's a World Cup year. At some point, you've got to think that maybe he is thinking that in his head.
Look, for his sake, I hope he gets his move, gets to go and play where he wants to go and play because, he's a great talent and he needs to go and play and go and express himself. And that's the only way he grows is by getting that experience and, gets the experience of playing at national level, international level as well. It's only going to benefit Manchester United. So I hope he does that. Also, look, let's wrap it up a bit. I've seen some of the games today. Arsenal, they won 2-0 against Burnley.
Standard, man.
They at the moment look the best team, consistent team. So
well, you said it from the beginning. They're the ones.
Yeah, man. Do you know what I mean? I think Gyökeres, although he's not my kind of player, he scored the first goal for them today. So
right now they're 7 points ahead.
Yep. With Bournemouth to play. Bournemouth have got, let me just double check, Man City tomorrow, so that'll be another interesting game. Tottenham are playing Chelsea at the moment. Alejandro Garnacho, he's playing for Chelsea, which I'm very surprised about because he's had a few stinkers. But
he scored the other day, didn't he?
Yeah, against Wolves. Was it against Wolves or was it last week? Sorry, against
was it the cup game?
They Chelsea. No. He never played in the cup game. Chelsea played Sunderland. He scored the first goal.
That was it. Yeah. Sunderland is smashing it though.
Yeah. Sunderland have got Everton on Monday, so that again be another interesting game. But look, we've got Tottenham next week, next Saturday, 12:30, as I mentioned. You know, Spurs are playing now at the moment, so you know maybe let's see. You know, we might
Let's go do some scouting
before there, but yeah, you know, we'll definitely get a podcast in before then, so it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, look, everybody, thanks for joining in. Like I said, I think it's one of them games today. You know, you can't be too disheartened, but you know, it would have been nice to get a win and get there. But yeah, let's see if there's any more news on the club's future, because I think to me that's the biggest thing at the moment. I think we've been riding on the crest of Al Turkey's Turkey Sheikh's tweets of a potential buyout. We've not heard anything for a bit. Even the stock price and the shares.
We've heard more about Man City's owners in the recent
recent
few days, but look, that's
going to be political, man.
That's an issue for another day.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. Look, everybody, like, share, get your views across. See, you know, was it a blip? Are we going to be back to winning ways next week? But you know, we'll be back soon with another episode. Thank you.
The guy that turns up on your body, dropping the hit got me